Welcome to SlamCast, where we chat with creatives about their process and how they navigate the grind of promoting themselves. We're your hosts. I'm BREA.
And I'm Neil. We're both studio technicians and producers here at Slam Academy, a music production and Ableton certified center located in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. And today we're here with Alexis Rose, a house music DJ and producer from the Twin Cities.
Let's give it up for Alexis. Yeah!
Hi! Welcome, Alexis. SlamCast. So happy to have you. Thanks for being here.
To be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
We know you're busy with all the shows you got going on.
Yeah.
You know, all the Sims activities.
I miss Sims.
Yeah.
Soon.
She'll get back into it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, like how we typically start is just like going back to the inception of DJ Alexis Rose and like how you got your start into music.
Yeah. I think it was like 2015, 2016. I was in the dubstep scene quite heavily. A lot of my friends were DJs and hanging out at the after hours, and I just was very mesmerized by the DJs. I'm like, how are you doing that? Mm-hmm. I want to do that. That looks so fun.
You look so cool up there.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is nuts. Like, how are you mixing all this stuff together?
You're like, oh, it's easy after you try it.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And eventually I like worked up courage. I'm like, hey, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, can I mess around with this? And he's like, yeah, just like, don't break it. I'm like, okay. And yeah, I was just sitting there and pushing buttons and figuring out how to do stuff. And, I like had a loop going for way too long, and I can hear them in the living room, and they're like, hey, love that you're figuring this out. I'm gonna need you to like do something different for a while. I'm like, yeah, I totally feel that. But yeah, after that, like I just really, really admired the art form of it, and just it's literally like a whole canvas that you have like unlimited access to. And after just kind of like hang out with friends and playing on their equipment and with their music, I'm like, I kind of want to have my own to play with too. So I saved up and got myself a laptop, and I started using virtual DJ just to like learn how to beat match and get a feel for like putting a set together, or just like my own music that I like to listen to. And then I think like 2 years after that, my boyfriend got me my first little controller, my DDJ RB. And after that, it just kind of snowball effect into it. And still love it. Never going to stop, regardless of like getting gigs or not. I just really love learning more. And like, that's the best part is like, there's always more to learn and improve on. And yeah, it's great. I love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So how long until your first gig, did you start like getting out into the scene and playing shows? I
think it was like maybe like 2 or 3 years. I had been hanging out with one of my friends, Casey, or Baby Ghost. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Love her. Mm-hmm. Great DJ. And she had me fill in for her at the Moxie while she was out of town. So that was my very first like gig that I had. Very nerve wracking because I'd never like played in front of people other than like my friends before. And even then I was really just kind of like DJing at home a lot, with my cat. She loves it. Biggest fan. Yeah, right. That would she would totally freak out. Too
Put her
much.
in a cat pack.
Yeah.
Bounce her.
But yeah, after that, then actually Neil Fox and Elaine with Headspace Collective, they booked me for my first independent booking. So I'm kind of all over the place. Previously, Casey and I and our friend Patrish, we had an event called Techno Girls that ran for like a year or so, just until COVID. And
Sure.
Then they both moved. Patty went to Washington and Casey's in Brooklyn still. So
Okay.
We all kind of went our separate ways, but they're off doing their own thing and finding their own success, which I so love. But yeah, then after that, Neil and Elaine do an event called Dome of the Brave off the Greenway in South Minneapolis over the 4th of July. And it was really fun. It was my first time touching CDJs. Did not export my music correctly, so I just had file numbers there.
Oh no!
I'm like,
Oh shoot.
Oh no!
we got this. It's fine. Everything's fine. Which it did go fine because at least I knew my music, so we figured it out. But yeah, lesson learned. Now I know how to export. Can't just drop files into the folder and go. Got to do it through Rekordbox. So, but yeah, so that was like my first event, and since then I've been really grateful for everything that's come my way. So, yeah.
How did the pandemic affect your DJ like trajectory? Is the word I'm looking for?
Honestly, it's like the only thing that I was doing at the time was Techno Girls, which was super fun. And, you know, we had great parties, great turnouts. I actually started live streaming first on Facebook Live.
Okay.
And Facebook is really tight with copyright stuff. So
they'll tear it down right away.
They like actually just shut your stream down midstream.
Oh, wow.
And that got really annoying. So then I decided, I heard some people were streaming like DJ sets and just music on Twitch.
Yeah.
So I decided to try that out, and I really liked it. And they still like have copyright stuff going, but they'll just mute certain sections of your VODs on there.
Okay.
So you can continue to stream. They're not going to like cut you off, which is really nice. But I just would hang out on Twitch a lot and DJ and have a nice little community on there. And I think like my favorite part is having it be people from all over the world too. Like some buddies that are in California, some are in Portugal and the UK and just all over the place. And we all just are there to vibe and hang out and enjoy some tunes, and also like share what each other's preferences for music too. And I like to do something called like DJ roulette while I'm on Twitch. So I'll have the chat like send in numbers, and I'll like close my eyes and like scroll through.
Oh, cool.
And whatever I click on, we're like, let's see. Let's see how this goes. And sometimes it's really chaotic, but other times it's like a happy accident. So Twitch has been like a big role, even like coming out of the pandemic. I had like some promoters that found me on Twitch and like wanted to book me from doing that.
Cool.
So yeah, like pandemic didn't really affect me negatively. It kind of helped a lot. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to keep DJing, I miss DJing for other people. So we'll just like keep the show on the road. And I'm still
twitching?
I do. Yes.
Awesome.
I'm still on Twitch. Inconsistently. I've been trying to be more consistent, but it is a little difficult just with real life things happening now. I did a streamathon in December to raise money and some awareness for local charities here that are helping those in need, whether it's housing, supplies. It's tough in the winter, especially here. So we ended up raising like $750 for the fundraiser, which is awesome.
Cool.
A lot of it too was for MECA, which is the Middle East Children's Alliance. I've had that one running with the goal of 1,000 for a couple months, but we're really close, which is great. So I streamed every day in December. I did not miss a day, which was so fun and really kind of just a lot.
Sounds like a lot. Neil and I have some Twitch experience through the pandemic too. We were streaming here for a while with like a hip hop style, like just looping, live looping
type of thing.
That's fun.
but like it's a lot. It's a lot. So
It is.
Just the setup Twitch
props
was a
to
bitch.
you.
Yeah, the setup is a pain in my ass.
Yeah, dude, it made me want. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was like three hours of adults pissed off, and we barely got it.
Like for real, I'm like, damn, I don't even want to do it anymore. I was a grown up. I thought I was
And
good
now
at
switch into a happy mood and a creative vibe for this podcast or for this live stream.
Totally.
And I just wanted to let you know really quick, if you live stream, you could take video. YouTube now is letting DJs play music that are copyrighted as long as it's DJ'd. So you can put your sets on YouTube and they won't flag it. They just won't be able to monetize them.
Okay.
Cool.
But you'll be like copyright, and it'll tell you how it affects everything. But then you can just have the set there and use it as like another piece of promo, and it won't be like flagged anymore. 'Cause I think it's they're kind of bringing it to like, if you're on YouTube signed a contract with like music companies to be able to do covers. That's how all the cover music is actually still able to be monetized on YouTube. So now they're kind of letting us DJ on YouTube as well. We can't monetize that, but as promo or just like I have like house music channels that it's just like where I just throw on like jazzy house people at a party, and I love just throwing it in the background. So.
Totally. Yeah. Some of my favorite mixes I find on YouTube.
Right? Exactly.
What is it? Lo-fi house music. There's a channel called Kiffin that they have like really great like
that's
cool,
awesome
chill house stuff. So
there's this one channel I'm following. It's like a dude and his lady. I don't know if they're together. It looks like they are, but they just like DJ at different spots all over the country. They just like drive to a spot, and then one of them is making breakfast, and the other one's just DJing house.
That. Yes.
Yeah, that's just like a channel. It's a cool channel.
What is it called again?
I don't know the name of the channel. I just type in.
It's like biscuits and beats or something.
I just type in like live house music, and then it's like one of the main channels of just like that comes into my feed. Just like house music, groovy house music breakfast mix, and they'll come up within a couple of videos.
That's so fun.
But yeah, just like ideas, like hey, you could just DJ it like down at the park by yourself, and just put that on YouTube.
Totally.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because I love the idea of just knocking out Twitch. Because Twitch is if you can do Twitch, that's the thing we're talking about. It's easy. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. And it's like for me, I think the most intimidating part was just like talking, and I like to just play music and just vibe, and I get nervous. But like it's been for some reason like it feels more natural to like talk to a chat and not, I don't know, it feels kind of weird to say, but
I get it. It's less intimidating because you can't like, you don't have to make eye contact with people.
Yes. And it's like I'm in my house, so I'm automatically comfortable, and then I'm like, you guys are just hanging out in my house with me. So yeah, it's really great. I enjoy streaming on Twitch a lot, and I actually started on there streaming Sims, like just me doing builds.
There you go.
Which is like cozy and fun, but then I'm
creating
like,
a Twitch audience is definitely another way to build a career. In
totally,
some sort of way. I follow plenty of Twitch people. Watch their YouTube, but
I've had one person come up to me in Uptown. They recognized me from Twitch, and I'm like, what? I didn't know anyone local was watching. Weird.
That's so awesome.
It was really, really cool. And yeah, so I always like recommend to like any DJs or just anyone musical, I'm like, go on Twitch. Just start streaming. It doesn't even have to be Twitch. Just like live stream. People love it. And I get a lot of like, oh, I'm at work and you're helping me get through the rest of the day, or I have a long drive, and like this is just really nice to unwind to. And I'm glad, like it makes me feel good to be able to provide that for someone else, and but it's also great for exposure for yourself too. So
definitely,
it's like a forced practice almost.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's cool. So you did a full month of December.
I did. Yes.
Are you planning on doing any other like events soon on Twitch? Kind of like that?
Intend to, yes. I really did like doing the streamathon one because it was a good practice in like consistency, and it gave me something to look forward to every day.
Did you do it the same time every day?
No, actually, I made a schedule, and I don't think I was on time once the whole time. Again, with the tech stuff, was always a hindrance, and I'm like, I've been doing this for 3 years. How is there still problems?
Yeah,
it's
every
always
single
like
time.
the interface went out, so I had to get a new interface, or like, you know, just whatever. But we made it. I usually did like a lot of really late night stuff. So I think like I'd even start at like 3 a.m. on like a Wednesday night. But it was interesting because my peak viewers would come around that time. Like previously I'd average maybe like 5 to 10, and it was the homies, and I really liked it. It was chill. But anytime like after midnight, it seems that DJs tend to get more foot traffic on their channels. So somewhere between like midnight and 3, it was like the sweet spot. I tried going earlier, and it just wasn't the same effect. I'm like, well, that's fine. I'm a night owl. So
yeah,
we'll just keep this going. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's 5. I think I'm going to be done. So I can make it tomorrow too. So
yeah.
Do you have another job then outside of like streaming and music?
I do recently. I actually had just been freelancing full time the last like 4 years. But I just started working at a middle school as a special education para about a month ago.
Nice.
I really like it. It's also really nice being on a forced schedule again. That's something I had really struggled with. But yeah, so now we're just kind of like figuring out how to balance what I've already been doing now with things I have to be doing. Yeah. I honestly don't even want to say have to. I get to do it, and it makes me feel really great. It also feels a bit more meaningful, and it gives me a lot more purpose, especially working with kids, which has been a big passion of mine since like forever.
Yeah.
And that's been something that's felt like was missing for a while since I hadn't been. So, but yeah, now we're just kind of balancing that, and the kids know I DJ, and something really fun. So the school I'm at, they have something called a WIN, where like teachers can host like cute little classes in the mornings. Like there's a metal class, so you come in the morning, you listen to metal music, and there's like a video game one, and so I kind of wanted to start one for like DJing or music production, just to like, because there's some kids that are interested in it, so it's been fun to like chat with them. Like I have one kiddo who's literally making beats in his free time on his iPad.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like, dude, this is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. So it's nice to feel like I can like merge those two worlds together.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that I would have been given an opportunity like that growing up, because I feel like that's such a niche thing. And also some parents are like, keep your day job.
Yep.
So it's nice to have that intertwinedness of like, oh yeah, you could actually DJ, or you could just do this for fun.
Yeah.
Or
Totally.
like, here's some options for you
Yep.
as a creative.
And I think that's like one thing too, is like a common theme, especially from our parents, is like, you can't make a job out of being an artist, or that's not going to work. And I'm like, you can.
Yeah, hard.
It's really hard, but you can do it, you know? And especially if you can like merge the two worlds, like you can work a full-time job, but have it be incorporating things that you know, are passionate about artistically, whether it's music or graphic design or just painting, or, you know, there's a space for everything. And I think that's honestly kind of the best part about it, is like you can be creative, but you can also like do something really impactful with it too. So you can make your parents happy, but also have fun at the same time.
And help the community and raise money for charities and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
You know, it can all work together.
Totally.
So you said you did like freelance stuff for the last 4 years, and you're a graphic designer as well.
Yes.
So is that what you meant by freelance?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Mostly like event flyers. I've done a few branding projects. Yeah, it's mostly event stuff, which is really fun. I really like it. There's something that also kind of happened on accident. My older day job, I had worked at another school previously as an office manager, and I was in charge of making like posters for the school. And then there's Photoshop on my computer, so I'd be like, I'm just working on conference posters and not doing anything on my own. Nothing to see over here.
Don't look at the secret file way in the corner of the desktop.
I'm doing my work. But I'm like, this is really fun. And it's like the same thing with DJing too. I'm like, this is fun. I'm going to keep doing this. And then I just took it home with me, and, you know, YouTube University, if I ever needed to like learn how to do a specific thing, or I like watching tutorials and just kind of copying it. So then I get a basis for like how the program works or how to do certain effects. And and now we're here and I get to do it for money, which is great. Not the purpose of me doing it, but it's definitely a perk. So yeah.
I like your designs on your Instagram page.
Thank you.
They're very psychedelic and trippy. Yeah, like
She's never done a
futuristic.
psychedelic in her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not once.
Not once.
Not one.
Ever. And she makes house music.
Yeah.
Have you always been a house music like centric DJ?
No. When I initially started DJing, there's a lot of dubstep. I love like deep, webby stuff. I still do. It's just not my focal point as much anymore. I kind of found my love for house music. It was at Electric Forest in 2016. It was the only time I went. But a friend and I had like stumbled upon Chami, who I'd never heard of before, or maybe I had, but I just never listened. But I was like, this feels awesome. And I want to keep chasing this sound. And eventually it's like brought me, I just keep going deeper and deeper into it. And yeah, it's great. It's something that I've found that's like house music specifically resonates with me in a way that other like dance music or really other just music in general does. Like I really love jazz. I really love down tempo groove stuff. But yeah, house just kind of, I don't know, it just does something for me and feels more like a spirit. It literally is a spiritual thing, like for me and, you know, a lot of other people that are just as passionate about it. So I believe it's very healing and yeah, it's just great. And I'm very grateful to have discovered it. It's done a lot of good for me in my life. So
yeah, I can attest to that.
Yeah.
I love house and disco and melodic, like funky stuff.
Totally.
Yeah. So when you produce, then what's the process like sitting down at your laptop and making one of these songs?
Yeah. Interestingly, I have a difficult time producing house music, and like I don't typically have anything specific in mind when I like get the bug to go. I'm like, okay, I want to go work on music right now. I just kind of like go with the flow. I quite literally operate off vibes for any sort of creative process that I do. Like I just follow a feeling, and like I'm not really looking for anything specific, no sound specific, until I like find something that feels good that I'm like resonating with. And that'll be like the starting point for me. I typically like to start with more like synthy noises instead of a beat. For a while, it was a lot of like R&B-esque type hip hop beats. My boyfriend's also a producer and he produces hip hop. So that's probably, nice. He actually taught me how to use Ableton Live. I initially learned on Fruity Loops with one of my roommates, who he was producing and DJing at the time. And that was super fun. I tried out Logic. I didn't really love the layout and the workflow of it. But I really like Ableton. So, nope.
Hell yeah. You heard it here, SlamCast. He's on our side.
Yeah.
So awesome. Alexis Rose is Slam approved.
Nice. Well, yeah, it's Ableton's great. You can do quite literally anything. It's completely endless. I love like messing around with their effects where it's very visual based. Yeah. So I'll take one sound. I don't remember what it's called, but there's one that it looks like a tree, and you can like continue to
like
grow.
An organic thing. Yes. Yeah, I love that one. Throw it in a key and just throw some stuff.
Yes, it is so
That's
cool.
So
like I will get totally lost in it for hours. I'm like, wow, I've just been messing with this one sound for so long. But I feel like that's always a good sign too. Is like you completely lose the concept of time because you're just you're totally aligned with whatever you're doing. And for me, that's an indicator that you're on the right track with whatever it is that you're doing. It's like, yep, no, this is exactly right. So my brain is always going like a million miles an hour. So whenever I can feel like it's offline for a little bit, I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, usually like beginning process is light some incense, maybe smoke some weed, usually smoke some weed. And just like go through sounds and find one that just feels good. And, you know, there are times where I'm like, okay, I want to make a house track, and I'll be like, okay, I know how to start the drums. Yeah. You know, I'll go through like a million different kicks. I'm like, that's the one. Like after going through a million, I'm like, okay, now we can start. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Then I just kind of go off the vibe. Anytime I've tried to like have something very specific planned out, which I'm phenomenal at planning things, executing the plan is like totally different because I'll change my mind halfway through or like right away. And so, but yeah, it's been great. Like I have moments where I sit down with the intention, and sometimes it'll come out as something else, but as long as I like it, I don't really have an issue. I'm like, cool, this isn't what I was going for, but I like where we're at. So we'll just keep following this. So
do you play any instruments or anything else like singing or stuff?
I play ukulele, which I love.
I love uki.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's great. I actually started that when I was a teenager. It's been a while since I pulled it out. I think like doing a
Yuki house coming at you soon. Creating ideas.
I think like since digital instruments have kind of taken over my life, I am not like paying attention to the more raw organic stuff as much. But we keep a lot of live instruments in our house. Electric bass, guitars, cool. Which I like having there just for the moments where I'm like, okay, I think I want to like switch it up for a little bit and mess around with that, maybe learn a new song. I also think that is helpful and like influential in when it comes to like starting to produce a song. It's kind of just changes up your way of thinking. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever collaborated with somebody?
Yes. I guess like sitting down next to each other, collaborating, no. I did do my first official remix. My buddies Ethan and Nathan, Mutual Identities is who they go by. They are phenomenal scientists on their live hardware. They're super great. But they put out an EP last year. So I did a remix that they actually put out on cassette tape. So that was really neat. It's cool to have like a physical version of something I made. But yeah, no like side by side collabs. I think a lot of it is like, I'm kind of nervous to do that.
Sure.
But that's something that's a goal of mine, is to like works hand in hand with another producer and see if we can make something rad. So
yeah,
of course, there's plenty of time and plenty of producers. So.
Yeah,
fudge it.
of course.
Totally.
All right. So we've talked a little bit about like the creative portion of your artistry, and I want to get into a little bit more of like the social media aspect and promotion.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole like other ball game.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like Instagram, and do you have anybody that helps you, or are you like the main person?
I am the main person. I don't like it at all. I like making the art. I like doing the art. And I think the business aspect of it, it just feels, that's like the best word I can say. It's just, like, I don't want to do this. Like, I love promoting my events that I'm part of course. But I think it just like puts another layer of pressure on having to fit into a certain mold. Like, I don't want to pay attention to like hitting certain numbers, which honestly, I don't pay attention to any stats. Because I really get in my head about it, and it takes away from me being able to actually produce anything at all. I don't like being hyper focused on numbers and engagement. And I'm kind of at the, like, I have the mindset of, if I make something and I love it, I want to put it out into the world. And if other people love it, that's great. And I'm glad you too. I'm glad I could resonate with someone else. If you don't, that's totally fine too. Everyone has their own preferences. Yeah. I don't like being a salesman. That's not my forte. So, and there's obviously something to it. And I think, especially, modern times, it's a necessary piece, which is annoying, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Even before social media, like, people still needed to print their CDs, flyers, and like, which I honestly would prefer doing that, because it feels
you
like
can do that still.
And I do, right?
Yeah.
And you still can. It's like, I like putting up flyers because it makes me feel like I have a physical connection to the thing that I'm doing. Whereas if I'm just like, hey, everyone, like this post, listen to my music, do this, do that. And I'm like, I don't want to tell you what to do, And that's, again, like, going back to Twitch, I feel like that in itself is kind of like a happy medium to doing like a physical promotion without feeling like I'm forcing it. I just don't like to feel like I'm forcing anything. I'm very anti-forcing myself on anyone or anything that I don't want to be doing. So like, I just like hate it. So, but it's necessary, and I'll keep doing it. It's kind of just
keep
part of the
forcing
game.
it.
So
the
only thing I don't force is my creative process. Like, that's it. Like, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to do it, because I genuinely have love for the craft and what I'm doing. And if I keep trying to force something to come out of it, my biggest fear is to not love it anymore. And so it ebbs and flows, the whole thing. You just gotta stay along for the ride.
And I mean, you get shows without having to post so much on social media. Like, you're part of a collective. Is that right?
Kind of. So mostly with graphic design. I do design with Intellifunk, who hosts Communion every summer.
Oh, cool.
Last year was my first year with them. I did do some work with Basement a few years ago. But in terms of DJing and just music wise, I'm not officially part of any collective. I would say there's communities that are very like intertwined that I'm part of.
Yeah.
Which I really love. I think I'd consider it more of like the underground scene, which to me feels a lot more authentic for, I don't know if like using like my goals is the right word, but just the vibe.
Yeah.
Just my vibe. Like it just feels very authentic, and you can really feel the genuine love for the music and for the experimentation, and it just feels really great being in those spaces. Yeah, and it's huge. Like there's a huge network of artists here in Minneapolis, and there's something for everybody. I've been in quite a few different pockets throughout my time, and I kind of am starting to feel like I've found a bit of a home in the spaces I'm in. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like every artist has their own approach, but the general consensus on this podcast with artists and guests that we have is being active in the community rather than social media.
Totally.
Like there are some people who have a bigger social media presence because they have found like what works for them.
Yeah.
But mostly it's in-person community, like networking, if you want to call it that. But I think it's just like general connection with people, and being in the scene and being around what you like resonates with other people because they like it. And it just kind of builds off of that. So did you just find the community that you're in just like getting out there?
Yeah, totally.
And then it just kind of spiraled into something else?
Yeah. One of my girlfriends took me to my first warehouse party. I believe it was a system party. Techno all night long, which techno's cool. It's not my forte. There's certain like waves of it that I really get down to. But it was just so different than being in, I guess you could say, like more of the mainstream parties that I was going to, where no one talked on the dance floor, no phones were out. Like, bless you. It was strictly for the music and for getting to know people around you. And then I think communion was kind of like my very first time really getting to know people that were there and getting a feel for what this community is really about. And from there, I'm like, okay, well, I like it here. This feels good. So, yeah, it really is just showing up, meeting people that are there, connecting with other DJs, connecting with other artists. Yeah, that's been like a huge role into kind of this pathway that I'm on right now. So, yeah. And I really think that that's, like you said, like that is the best way to go about doing it. Social media is very inconsistent, and then you're just not getting that genuine connection with other people. You know, it can be just very surface level, I guess, depending on how you choose to present yourself. For me, I have a hard time being vulnerable. Like, I don't want everybody to know my business all the time, you know? But there are certain things I like to open up about online because I know that it can be helpful maybe for someone else that's feeling the same way. Like, I tend to be very socially anxious, and especially like in large rooms. So going out to events has been really difficult for me to do. I had stopped drinking 2 years ago, and that's been kind of the catalyst that made this more difficult because I didn't have like that safety net there. That made me feel comfortable. And so having like the people I'd met previously and form those relationships with really helped when I do choose and am brave enough to go out. I'm like, okay, I know you, like, this is great. I feel like I'm back at home again. And just kind of reminds me of kind of where I'm coming from. And I'm not a total outlier and a weirdo in the background that doesn't want to talk to anyone right now. So,
oh, that's great. I tend to lean more towards the anxious, like socially anxious side too. So it's cool to hear that once you exert that energy and put yourself in a certain scene, like you will just become more comfortable. It's just a natural thing that happens, and you have to kind of force yourself to do it. But once you do, it's so beneficial.
Totally.
For you as a person, like your personal growth. And to grow with the community too.
Absolutely. So. Exposure therapy. Very important.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know where I would be without exposure therapy. I'd be hiding in my house right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't be here.
Sonny would be happy though.
Yeah, my cat.
See,
he's obsessed.
Yeah. Like, why are you getting exposure therapy? I want you to hang out with me.
You should only be exposed to me.
This is the only therapy you need.
Yeah. Where does your loyalty lie?
Yeah.
So do you, when you drop a track or you have something to share with the community, are you okay?
Fidgety.
Do you lean towards more of the in-person community promoting, or how do you handle like dropping a track or something new to share?
I am so weird about self promo. I just kind of do it. I will be like on my story, hey, I put out a new song. You should listen to it if you want to.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. I struggle talking about it and like telling other people unless they're like my friends. And I'm like, hey, you guys, I put something out, go listen to it, you know? But I feel that, I don't know, what's the best way to say this? It makes me feel like I'm taking up too much space when I'm like out and we're at an event, let's say, which is usually the only times that I'm out doing anything. Mm-hmm. You know, and, I'm like, well, we're here to celebrate these people here. Like, I don't want to like take away from that. You follow me on social media. You know, people ask me about it. They're like, hey, like I checked out your track, XYZ. Like, you know, I'm like, oh, cool. I'm glad you listened to it. That makes me feel awesome. That's great. But again, it's more of like the salesman thing. I'm not great at that.
Yeah.
I want people to voluntarily listen to it on their own, which is not part of the recipe for growth. But working on it. I'm trying to like get better at doing it.
Because sometimes it's not like them volunteering; it's them not even knowing it came out. Because if you don't like put something out at the right time where they're at the right story at the right moment, it's not they didn't even see it. It's
right.
Just like
Yeah.
they were on the John or something. So.
Right. And like the extent is like, okay, I'll keep posting it to my story. I'll make an Instagram post. I'll, you know, make little notes. I have like my, what are they called? The chats. The group chat thing on Instagram where you can have like a channel chat on there. So I have that going and I've got like a nice little handful of people in there and I'll be like, hey guys, I have an event coming up, or hey, I put out a new track, go listen to it. Nice. And they can like react and respond in it. That also feels really nice because the people that join are there because they want to know those things. So that's been like a helpful kind of like workaround for the parts that I struggle in. Yeah. And also I will say TikTok is great. I recently started a DJ TikTok that I didn't tell anybody about that I'm doing for the first time right now as I'm talking about it. Cool. I started a secret one just to kind of see like organically how my DJ content would grow without using the rest of my social media to do it.
Is it faceless? Or you like face of it? Oh, cool.
I had one video of me talking on there. Ooh. I was absolutely terrified to post it when I did. Yeah. And of course, my boyfriend's making fun of me because I do a thing where I'll make a post and I literally chuck my phone across the room and I'm like, no, it's over for me forever.
The shame.
Yeah. But then I'm like, okay, that wasn't so bad. Very dramatic.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this has been cool. And like, it's just like an interesting reach. Again, like same with Twitch, there's just people I wouldn't typically interact with that, excuse me, that are there and they're interacting. They're like, hey, I like this. I'm like, very cool. And I've had some, what's it called? Not migration, but like people that'll go from that platform and will go, and I've had some traction over on my SoundCloud afterward for the song that I posted, which I get more from that than when I'm sharing on other platforms, which is really interesting. Cause it's people that I know on those platforms that, so I don't know. It's all like an experimentation just to kind of see what would work. That doesn't feel inauthentic for me to be doing either.
I think that's really cool. TikTok is so interesting because you can reach so many people that would never have like even known about it.
Yep.
I tried TikTok once and then it was like too much for me to try to like post as consistently as they wanted to reach people. So I kind of gave up on it. Honestly, I just deleted the app because I was like, I can't.
No more.
It's a lot.
Too much social media.
Yeah.
Too much dopamine.
Props to anybody who can do that just like organically and consistently, because that it's a lot. But also if you're doing the DJing anyways, you might as well just like throw up your phone and just record some stuff and then like put it out there to just see what happens. It doesn't need to be like a whole planned out trying to do trends, all of the like whatever. You can just do it. So
just do it.
Yeah.
Props to them. Props to you.
Yeah. And I think too, like that's one thing I'm not great at is remembering to record while I'm doing things. But I know I keep talking about Twitch. Hot cue button for the Twitch comments on here, but I can take clips from that and I usually will just post those on TikTok.
Yeah.
And it works just fine. But I did like recently pick up turntables last year. So I've been learning how to spin physical records, which has been really fun.
So
but that's something like I wanted to start like videoing and like just doing some like more laid back sets, maybe put it on YouTube or something like that. Something chill, low pressure.
Low pressure.
Got to start there. Otherwise I won't do it because I tend to have a big grandiose plan and then I'll be like, that's a lot. I don't know how to start this. And then I don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think like definitely staying away from trends takes away the pressure from like doing stuff like that. So
that's great advice.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of advice, I don't know. Do you have any other questions for Miss Alexis Rose before we get to the advice?
Yeah. How long have you been working on your TikTok?
Like 6 months. I don't think
how consistent?
Not very.
Yeah,
I think for like it was like a month I was consistent, like posting at least one video every day. But then I forgot about it. So we're going to try to do that again. I do struggle with consistency, but I keep trying over again. I guess in terms of advice, like that is the biggest advice is it's okay to fail. It's okay to like not be where you want to be when you want to be there. It's kind of the whole thing is just like, don't stop doing it. You can always keep starting over. There's no like finish line. There's no rush. I do notice like a lot of, I guess just some conversations I have like with other artists, regardless of the medium. And I think social media plays a role into this, is feeling like there's a timeline and a time limit to like where you'll find success. And like, if I don't do it at this moment, it'll never happen. And it's like, there are artists that didn't start doing anything until they were like 40 years old and they found success just fine.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Exactly. And
42.
you know, and it's just like, this is like a lifelong thing. Like there's no rush. And I think understanding that it's okay to take your time. It's okay to fail. It's okay. And honestly, I don't even like using the word fail. It's okay to not it's just okay to not be where you want to be right now in this moment. And just be patient with yourself, really. And give yourself some grace. That's something I definitely need to do better at. But, you know, we're only humans. Can only do so much at one time. So,
well, when we clip that for the Instagram post, it'll just be a reminder for you to
exactly. Also forcing myself to listen to myself say it.
Yeah,
exactly. We'll send it to you. You can just put it on a loop when you wake up.
When you go to bed.
Time, girl. Yeah. Take your time.
Bedtime stories.
All of a sudden, this is the intro to your sets and stuff. Yeah. Everybody, please take the time.
Yeah, everyone, please quiet down for a second. I have something really important to say. Just like put it on this.
Have your opening song with that and just like ambient.
Yeah.
There's no rush.
Yeah.
Take your time. Cool.
Well, that was good advice.
Yeah. I could use some of that advice too.
I try to tell people all the time. They don't listen.
You need to scream it at them.
People respond to being screamed at.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the most efficient way.
Well, yeah. Do you have any questions for us while you have us here?
I guess I kind of wonder, like, what, is kind of your guys' thing that keeps you driving, what keeps you feeling like you want to try to keep being consistent in what you do?
Interesting. I don't know. Discipline. I guess discipline. Once you've seen it all, once you see hard work that you do turn into something, after you see that, you know the hard work it takes to do anything, and so that keeps me consistent. Like
totally.
Like when you first finish a song, once you finish like a song or two, you're like, I now know the hard work it does to finish it, and I can do it now.
Yep.
And it's you never really. It's so like just. What keeps me going is that knowing that like after I've done a lot of hard work, a lot of my projects pay off in some sort of way.
Yeah.
And maybe not the way everyone wants it to pay off in some way that they see fit.
Yeah.
And it never it doesn't always, which isn't a bad thing. I've learned so much through just like putting in work and seeing what happens instead of like, oh, I hope this thing is the best thing that's ever happened, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So learning that, and then just learning that if you just stay consistent, it becomes easier. Like, like right now I'd have like those 52 podcasts out this year just with that. I also have 2 other ones that have 40. Anyway, just watching, like just being able to do the consistency of that, I'd be like, oh, it's not that hard. So, So just knowing, to sum it all up what I would say is that just once you see some of your good work turn into something, you'll always try to be consistent with it because you know that you can do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, like once you've done it a couple times, you can do it. It's like gotta just like believe in yourself, you know?
Yep, totally.
And you also see all these people online too that are like doing what you're doing, but not at the skill set you think that you have. So I don't know, like people that post really dumb things online, but they're like kind of, it's like satire almost, but they have all of this following or growth. From that, it's like, oh, I could just do what I genuinely want to do and people will like it because it's just another form of connection to somebody else.
Yeah.
I guess what keeps me going is like, I can't stop thinking of creative things that I want to do. And so I just feel compelled to do them.
Yeah.
But the time between the thought of it and executing it is just getting shorter because of the consistency.
Yeah.
And so it's super cool to just be like, oh, I have this idea. I can do that.
Yep.
Yeah. Slam FM, this podcast, the other podcast, your ferry boat thing.
Any song, any
I'm learning to scratch
show.
like right now.
Dope.
Like, so it's just one of the things where now I can, me and Hugh were learning to beat juggle for our first time, which was crazy because that was the most intimidating thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, just practice, shitloads of practice. But like she said, the bridge gets smaller. And also, like, have you ever heard the Ira Glass, the Ira Glass, the time between you being good at something thing?
I don't think so.
Well, so Ira Glass, just I'll sum it up. It's a 2-minute speech, like thing he says, where he's like, the time between, like, when you get into something, you get into it because you have good taste and you think you want to do that thing. And when you start getting into it, you realize the thing you make isn't as good as the stuff you like. And because you have good taste, you can see that. But so as you work, the gap between you and the stuff you like gets smaller and smaller, the more you put in a lot of work. And people sometimes don't want to put that work in. And so they fall short to themselves, not making as good a stuff to them as they could because they like good stuff. So once you break that gap and you're like making stuff that you believe is as good as the stuff you enjoy, which takes everybody a different amount of time. He says it took him longer than anybody. It took me a long time, but now I can create stuff that I'm like proud of. And I know even if it's not good enough for everybody, it's good enough to me to put out into the world. That gap is now like closed. You know what I mean? Like if I want to make a song, I know it'll take forever, but I can. If I want to learn a thing, I know it'll take forever. So yeah, just the better way to think about it, that you can get to anything you want. There's just going to be a gap. You can close that gap through a lot of work and practice. And that's what everyone's scared of.
Exactly.
Everyone's scared of to suck. Like my first 40 podcasts look like ass. Now they look great. Now they look great. I was learning how to film, but now exactly. And I wasn't letting. I'm like, oh, it looks bad. I'm not gonna. No, it's like, okay, the next one will be better.
It's just a learning. Like it's just a learning point.
My favorite quote from Adventure Time: sometimes you gotta suck at something before you're good at it.
Hell yeah. My favorite is, I'm all about stupid. That's my favorite quote.
I remember releasing my first song and just feeling extreme shame and guilt and like gross. Like that was the worst day ever, honestly.
I can totally relate to that. I'm like, why would I literally ever do this? I'm so embarrassing. Oh my God. This is horrible. Why would I think this is okay? But then it's like, you do it and I'm like, oh, Yeah. It wasn't that bad.
And I look back now and I have like a tangible thing that I can look back and see the progress that I've made.
Yes.
And it's such a cool feeling. And being like, I was way too hard on myself that day. Like, that's actually a really cool song for your first song ever. Let yourself just enjoy it.
Yeah, it's art.
It's fine. Like, you don't need to be at Beyonce's level to enjoy or be proud of yourself.
Right. And that's like really the whole thing is like, just enjoy it. Like, you do this because you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Don't suck the fun out of it because you want to be perfect at something you really can't be perfect at.
No.
This isn't like the arts is not something to be perfect at. And it's literally just being yourself and doing what you feel is good enough. Yeah. And everything will just kind of keep going from there. So, yeah. That's awesome. Okay, wait. Did I hear Ferry Boats?
Ferry Boat is my band name. It's an R&B project.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love the name.
Thank you. Yeah. It took forever to find something that I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
But once I found it, I just, now it's just what it is. And it comes from my last name, SCOW, which I Googled maybe like 5 years ago. And it meant like a fat bottom barge who's like carries garbage. And so my alter ego is Garbage Barge. But I Googled it like, I don't know, last year at some point, again, just out of curiosity. And it means a ferry boat. So Ferry.
Cute.
That can transport things.
Okay.
And then I just kind of changed it and like Fairy. Ferry boat.
That's very, that suits you very well.
Thanks.
Yeah. Very fairy vibes.
Thank you.
She hasn't even heard your music and it suits you well, right?
I actually need to play it on the loudspeakers here because I'm releasing an EP in a couple months, like for the first Ferry Boat like project release. Because I have music under my name on Spotify.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like, that's old me.
Yeah.
That's not Ferry Boat, that's pretty SCOW.
Yeah. So I'm excited. There's a new chapter coming and it's been a lot of hard work, but I can't wait to see like, just the progress, I guess, and like share it with people. Because I feel like I've taken my time with this project now and it's going to be fun to release it instead of stressful to release it.
We shot promo in October for it.
Okay.
So speaking of time, I have 4 music videos on my laptop.
Yeah.
We made it in October. They're beautiful, but that's how ahead of this project she is. That she has already like recorded like another EP version of it in music video right after.
That's awesome.
We did like an acoustic version in the woods.
Yeah.
Neil recorded just me and my friend playing guitar and
oh, I love that.
So I can't wait.
It was pretty dope.
I'm excited to see it.
Very fairy.
Yeah.
And if you heard my favorite BREA SCOW track, if you look that up on Spotify as I could, it's such a good song.
Thanks.
It's actually one of my favorite songs. It's really good. I really love that song. Yeah.
Thanks,
So if you're looking up any BREA SCOW online, that one's really good.
Check me out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. That was awesome.
Thank you for being here. This has been a really fun conversation.
You're a freaking vibe, yo.
Thank you. You guys are too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're
That's
so
one
welcome.
of like the coolest things about this podcast is just getting to meet people that I would like probably, I don't know if I would have ever like come in contact and be able to have a conversation with you out in the world. But this podcast is freaking awesome that way.
We've had podcasts with like people that work here I didn't know anything about, like Buddha.
Yeah.
I didn't know as much about Buddha or Mickey Breeze or Mike Rat or JP.
Yeah.
It's so cool to even like you don't really sit with some friends like this and have these kind of conversations. Like, hey, so honestly, how long did you da? You know what I mean?
Like there's no phones to distract. Like it's all just like,
it's been really cool to get to know people this way as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's really great. How long have you guys been doing this podcast for again?
We dropped we were at 20 episodes. We started in July.
Sweet.
Okay.
July. Yeah, we've been doing so this one, the consistency on this one is we're doing one every other week.
Sweet.
So it's been every other week since July, and this one will be coming out like in about 4 weeks. We have a couple banged, but
Sweet.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. If you want to check them out, they're all there.
Yeah.
Check them out online.
Yeah.
We got some really. Lady Midnight was really good. Nerdy was really good.
I watched a bit of Sophia Harris's too.
Sophia Harris is really good.
dude, so many legends.
Yeah,
For real.
Happy to have you added to that.
I know. I was like, oh my God, I get to come out here. Wow.
Got Alexis Rose on, dude. Really good. Having so much fun. So yeah.
Buddha suggested you. He was like, she's dope.
Yeah.
Have a lot of fun.
Buddha.
So
he's a
shout out
homie.
to Buddha.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to
with
land
that-
this plan of a podcast and say goodbye. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the Slam community and anybody watching, Miss Alexis Rose?
thank you guys so much for having me on. And this has been great exposure therapy for me.
There you go.
Yeah. This has been great. It's been really nice to just kind of like chat about my experience, and I hope that this is helpful for any other upcoming artists. Just know you don't have to do the most. You just need to do what feels right for you to be doing.
Exactly.
And with that, we leave you here today, SlamCast. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody. SlamCast.
SlamCast.
Thanks for watching SlamCast. Wasn't that a fun episode?
Want to become a member at Slam Academy? Go to slamacademy.com for more information.
Thanks for watching. Bye.